Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be doing a applique design, and we're going to be using glitter HTV. So I'm going to go over all of the supplies, and then we're going to go ahead and get our sweatshirt hooped up onto the machine so we can get this stitched out. So starting off, I have a piece of black glitter HTV that I'm going to be using on a black sweatshirt. I have a piece of no-show mesh cutaway stabilizer, and then I'll be using my 8x13 mighty hoop. I would probably say this mighty hoop is probably my most used mighty hoop. I will be using Richword's black matte embroidery thread. So it's going to be black sweatshirt, black glitter HTV, black matte thread, black on black on black. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. And I also have a pair of scissors as well as my applique scissors. I will be doing this on my by mirror 15 needle embroidery machine. So let me go ahead, get this hooped up, and then I'm gonna move you over to the machine so I can show you the whole setup process. So I have everything hooped up. I did put my sticker on there as far as my placement to make sure I line it up where it needs to be lined up. So I'm going to go ahead and slide my shirt on here, and we are good. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and hit ready on my machine to go into embroidery mode. And first thing I always do is a trace. So I'm going to go ahead and hit a trace, and then I'm going to do a normal trace, and it is going to go around so I can see exactly where it's going to stitch out and make any adjustments if I need to. And actually I need to move it over just a little bit this way and up a little, just a little. Okay. Now I'm going to do another trace just to see, make sure everything looks good. And that looks good to me. So now one thing I forgot to do is switch out my thread. So I am going to go ahead and switch out one of my cones for this black matte thread. So let me decide which one I'm going to switch out, and I will be right back. So I decided to switch out number 9 back here. So I already cut the other thread off, and I'm putting the matte thread on here. And what I normally do, so I don't have to spend a bunch of time rethreading the machine, I just go ahead and tie it in a knot, a very tight knot. Actually, I do a double knot, and then I'm going to pull the thread through. So let me tie this really quick, and then I'll show you how I pull it through the machine. All right, so I've gone ahead and tied my thread. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pull it through, and I just pull it through very slowly, and you can start to see where those two pieces that I tied together, those are coming through. And I do watch just to make sure nothing gets off track, and that way I can make any adjustments and catch that before I start stitching out and have issues of thread breaks or just any issues that could happen if it's not threaded correctly. So I'll go ahead and put it through the needle. Then I'm gonna go ahead and start the initial placement stitch and then lay down the glitter HTV. So I'll be right back to show you those parts. Now we are ready to add our HTV glitter because our placement stitch has finished. And an important thing that you have to remember is that you have to remove the carrier sheet from your glitter HTV. You do not want to embroider with this on there. So make sure you peel off your carrier sheet and then lay down your HTV glitter. Now, normally when I'm doing same colors on a sweatshirt, I normally switch the thread colors for this particular step. So right now I'm doing all black thread. So if this was a piece of fabric, I would switch to probably a white thread. That way, when it does those initial tack down stitches, I would be able to see where I need to cut my material down to so I don't have any sticking out. But because this is glitter HTV, I am not going to do that. I'm just going to continue on with the black thread because I like to tear mine away at the end. Now, this is up for debate. I see some people say they like to trim theirs down. Other people say they like to tear theirs at the end. I'm one of the ones that tears my glitter off at the end. So whatever you choose to do. But if you're doing a color on color, like same color on same color shirt, at this step, switch your thread to a color that you will be able to see, that will stand out. That'll make it easier for you to trim down. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it start, and it'll do that tack down stitch, and then I'm just gonna keep going right on into the satin stitch. Now it's finishing off the last letter for the tack down stitch. So same applique process. Right here is normally after this stitch here is where you would take your hoop off the machine and go ahead and trim around your letters. Now, if you prefer to trim down your glitter HTV, you would do it at this step, but you definitely cannot rip it at this step because it just has that one tack down stitch. So definitely don't rip it off at this step, but you can use your applique scissors, some of these curved scissors like this here, and then you could go ahead and cut around it. But again, I like to trim my glitter HTV off at the end, so I'm gonna just go ahead and go right into that final satin stitch. So I'll let this stitch out, and then I'll meet you back over at the table once everything is finished. Our shirt has finished stitching, and this is how it's looking right now. I'm loving the matte thread on here. Let me move all this stuff out the way and grab a lighter as well. So first I'm gonna go ahead and remove, actually no, I'm not going to remove my mighty hoop. I'm gonna go ahead and tear away my stabilizer while it's still in the hoop. So, and I like to go in the direction of the stitches. So depending on how your design stitched out, tear it off in that direction. So I'm just going to tear mine from top to bottom. And as you can see, it tears right on off, at least it should. And then the pieces that are like in between the A, I will grab, where are my tweezers? I will grab a pair of tweezers and just pull that piece up. And I just kind of stick it in there to lift it. And then once it's lifted, then I'll go ahead and just tear it away. And that is looking really good. I'm loving the black on black combination. Let's see. Okay, get that mighty hoop out the way. Then I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the stabilizer. I always use lighter to trim my thread. You can use snips. If you're using a lighter, be very careful. You need to constantly move. You can't just hold it in one spot. Otherwise, you can burn a hole, not only through the stabilizer, but through your garment as well. So just kind of keep moving. I just kind of go in a back and forth motion. But if you're not comfortable with using a lighter, just use some scissors or some snips. Then get all the stabilizer cut away. And I will have links for everything in the description box. If you do want to save $100 off a buy mirror embroidery machine, definitely use that link that I have in the description box so you can save yourself a few dollars. And I will also have the link for mighty hoops as well. And you will get free shipping with them. All right, let's finish this up. And Richword's matte thread, I've been trying out the different colors. I am really liking this matte thread. So now I'm gonna just get my lint roller and just kind of go over my shirt a little bit. And if you see anything sticking out, I normally like to do an extra check just to make sure nothing is sticking out and everything looks good to me. And this is how our shirt turned out. Have some lint there. Hopefully you can see that. And the matte, I feel like the matte thread versus the polyester thread lets the glitter HTV stand out more. And I don't know, that matte thread just gives it a nice finish. I really like that. So black on black, I might try this too with their red matte, red shirt, and red glitter HTV. That would be really cute. So this is our finished shirt here. Again, descriptions for, links for everything that I use will be in the description box, including like my applique scissors, as well as stabilizers, all that stuff in the description box. But if you do have any questions, please let me know below in the comments. And let me know too, do you normally trim your glitter HTV down after that placement or after the tack down stitch, or do you prefer to just rip it away afterwards? I do this method, and again, as long as you're going with the way that your stitch is stitched out, so if they, depending on how your design is digitized, you'll want to peel it that way. So either top to bottom or from side to side. Normally mine is top to bottom. I haven't had any issues, but let me know which way you prefer, or if you even have a preference. But thanks so much for watching today's tutorial. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do tutorials on embroidery, sewing, sublimation, rhinestones, a little bit of everything. But I will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much again for watching, and see you later.